Under the Trump administration, we will defend the proud tradition of female athletes, and we will not allow men to beat up, injure, and cheat our women and our girls. From now on, women's sports will be only for women. And we're putting every school receiving taxpayer dollars on notice that if you let men take over women's sports teams or invade your locker rooms, you will be investigated for violations of Title IX and risk your federal funding. Because with this executive order, the war on women's sports is over.
President Trump making good on his promise, signing an executive order keeping biological men out of women's sports.
Joining us now, two women who were at that signing and have been some of the most powerful voices in this fight. Former NCAA swimmer, Outkick host Riley Gaines, along with former volleyball player and Independent Women's Forum ambassador Payton McNabb. Before I get emotional, great to see both of you. I watched the ceremony today. Riley, to you first on this. They tried to silence you and Payton, and it's just almost unimaginable what you went through to achieve this day.
That's to put it mildly. For the past 3 years for me personally, I know many more have been fighting much longer than I have, but for the past 3 years, we have been stonewalled. And when I say we, I mean women. We have been stonewalled by the previous administration, and actually not just stonewalled, they actively worked against us as women and required these men into our sports, into our locker rooms, into our single-sex spaces, and reprimanded us as women if we even dared to question this. So to see the moral clarity and the decisive action of course, President Trump, who has made this a priority. It was issue number 17 on his platform. Within the first, 2-3 weeks of his presidency, making this a priority, it sends a very strong, clear message to women and girls across the country that we matter. And again, that could not be more stark from the message that Joe Biden and his administration sent.
And Payton, just to remind folks who may not remember what you had to go through, I mean, you received an injury from a biological man who should not have been playing against you. You went through an extraordinary period where you had to recover from that injury. It included brain injury, a year's worth of work, and I'm so happy to see you so well recovered. My wife had a brain injury, so I know how tough it is to come back from something like that. But it must give you great joy. 79% of Americans, Democrats as well as Republicans, now believe that men should not be in women's sports. That's come up from it was 50% about 3 years ago, but it's come up because of the work that you two have done. How does that make you feel?
Well, of course, my situation was 100% avoidable and should have never happened. It was a horrible thing, but so much good has come out of it. So I'm so thankful to be here and to be alongside all these amazing women who have fought so hard to get these basic rights that women deserve. So although my story was tragic and I wish it never happened to me, a lot of good has come from it, and I'm very thankful for that.
Riley, have the sponsors changed their tune? Have the colleges changed their tune? Because this executive order, do you still have a long way to go? And what about the Olympics and the IOC in Los Angeles? That'll be interesting to watch.
Yeah, it will. To answer your first question about colleges, I've been pretty optimistic to see NCAA President Charlie Baker release a statement saying, look, we will do everything that we can to enforce this and comply with this executive order. So we'll see. There are still men competing in NCAA collegiate athletics, so I will be interested to see the actions and steps they're willing to take to ensure women the safety, the privacy, and the equal opportunity that they're entitled to. And to speak to the Olympics and international scale here, President Trump, he spoke about this today. I was very excited to hear him continue to understand there's more work to be done with the Olympics coming here, with the travesty we saw in women's boxing in the last Olympics. So it is certainly at the forefront of his mind, and I imagine in 2028 in LA, we will not see men competing in the women's Olympics.
Ladies, again, I wish I had medals to give you right now. You both deserve double gold medals for what you've done.